What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and I just saw UFC Fight Night Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley, and that was a very good card to end of the year. The prelims are really good, and the main card, there's a lot of finishes. And before I get to the main event, I want to quickly talk about the main card. And firstly, Navajo Sterling, he did good against his opponent. He controlled that fight. His opponent, it seems like he was starting to gas out by the end of the first round. And he didn't really do much on the feet except move around and just kind of shell up. Even his grappling attempts weren't really the best, and Navajo Sterling was able to just control him and land some good body shots. And it was a good performance. It's just he looked a little bit stiff, I guess. It didn't really look like his strikes were the most fluid, but I mean, he is still early in his UFC career, so he still has time to get that together. But yeah, it's a good performance from him. I would say just build him up slowly, and yeah, that was a good performance. Then we had Adrian Janz versus Daniel Marcos, and that was a really competitive fight. I thought Janz was gonna win, and he was doing real good, and I think he could have won, but in the third round, I think he lost it due to the grappling. It was 1-1. I thought Marcos won the first round, and then Janz won the second. Janz was having a lot of success with that left hook, but the problem is he wasn't really setting up too well, especially with that jab. I think that if he used his jab a lot more, he could have gone Daniel Marcos to start pairing that jab and then leave an opening for the left hook. And in the third, he should have just let his hands go a lot more. He was pressuring him a lot, but he wasn't really throwing, and it allowed Marcos to just get into some clinches, get some takedowns, and then just win through there. But then Daniel Marcos called out Jose Aldo, and you know what? He does have some good striking. I think that'd be a fun matchup. I just don't want to see Jose Aldo get held up against a cage for another 15 minutes. I think we're all over that. I mean, if you're going to do it, really force Yash and do some damage, but just holding him up against a cage, no one wants to see that. But that was a good performance from Daniel Marcos, undefeated, and maybe he hits Jose Aldo next. And then from there, we just got a whole bunch of finishes. And firstly, we got Dustin Jacoby finishing Vitor Petrino, and that was a competitive fight. But in the third round, I believe, Dustin Jacoby just landed a clean right hand, and it seemed like Vitor Petrino was trying to counter the right hand with a left hook. But we have seen so many knockdowns or knockouts with fighters trying to counter the right hand with a left hook while they're staying on their center line. They're not moving the head. They're not taking a slight step to their left to create a bit of an angle. It's just crazy. It's such a dangerous way to counter the right hand. I would just say, just defend the right hand. Get the timing of it. I mean, if you get the timing of it, slip to the outside of the right hand and land your own cross. But trying to counter the right hand with a left hook is just so dangerous. And I think that Vitor Petrino paid the price. He got flatline KO'd. That was bad, but that's good to see Dustin Jacoby get a win and end his losing streak. And then Manel Kape just destroyed Bruno Silva. And to be honest, I don't know what Keith Peterson was doing in that fight. The first low blow, that should have been a warning. And then he was you know what, it is what it is. I'm just gonna not give him a warning, which you should. And then Bruno Silva low blows Manel Kape again, and for some reason Keith Peterson still doesn't give out a warning. And then I think Bruno Silva hits him with another low blow, and then Keith Peterson finally takes 1 point away, which was pretty odd. At that point, you should probably take 2 points away. But then in round 3, Manel Kape is piecing up Bruno Silva, but then he gets eye poked, and he nearly gets knocked out, but Keith Peterson doesn't stop the fight just to give Manel Kape some time to recover. But then Manel Kape hits Bruno Silva with a low blow, and again Keith Peterson doesn't do anything, but Manel Kape just continues to tee off. He's pissed off, and rightfully so. He's been fouled 4 times, and he was clearly fed up, and yeah, he just got the finish. And I think that you should put him against Pantoja next. Actually, there is Kai France there, so maybe you can do Pantoja versus Kai France, and then Manel Kape fights a winner. Or maybe you can have Manel Kape fight maybe a Brandon Moreno. I think that's a fresh matchup. Or a Manel Kape versus Brandon Royval. That'd be another good fight. But yeah, just keeping knockout active. And yeah, that was a great performance from Manel. Then Cub Swanson knocked out Billy Q in Florida, and that's sad to see for Billy Q because he is from Florida. But the problem with him in this fight is that he was getting tagged with that right hand. He had no defense for it, and you can't keep taking clean right hands to the jaw like that. And he was doing good in round 2, but then Cub Swanson just dropped him real bad in round 3. And again, with a right hand, like, you got to work on your right hand defense, and you can't just have your left hand just kind of like by your chest area, not really guarding, and you're not really like using your shoulder to avoid that right hand. You got to do something. You got to occupy it, maybe throw a left head kick so that he doesn't throw it. But Billy Q wasn't doing any of that, and Cub Swanson gets a knockout. And I think this was potentially Cub Swanson's last fight. So it was great to see a legend go out like that on a win. You don't want to see these legends just, go out on losing streaks. So yeah, good for Cub Swanson, but I kind of feel bad for Billy Q. But then we have the main event, Joaquin Buckley versus Colby Covington. And Colby Covington walks out with Hulk Hogan, which, Hulk Hogan, I mean, he is an icon in pro wrestling. So that was kind of cool to see. But Colby actually starts out like a lot more active than he was against Leon Edwards. And yeah, he doesn't do too bad, but it seems like his explosiveness was not there. His bad intentions were not there. And I don't know, it just seemed like a guy who was clearly out of his prime. It looked night and day difference from when he fought Kamaru Usman in MSG to now. And yeah, like he got caught with a nasty right uppercut in the first round as Colby was going for a takedown. And then from there, like the fight was pretty much like done. Like Buckley wasn't really rushing. He was fighting very well. He was mixing up with a lot of kicks. Like he had a really nice right head kick, and also he was working the body on Colby really well. And he was defending the takedowns. Colby did get a few takedowns here and there, but I feel like Colby was really just trying to get those takedowns mainly with his upper body. He wasn't really like using his legs, it seemed. Even when he had Buckley down, he was like controlling him mainly with his upper body. But when you see guys like Chimaev or Makhachev grappling, you see they're using their whole body to control their opponents. And it didn't look like Colby was doing that. And it seemed like he was out of his prime in this one. But that was a good performance from Joaquin Buckley. I think he should look to fight Kamaru Usman or Jack Della Maddalena next. Or maybe try to get a fight with Ian Gary. Who knows? But for Colby, I guess you can go the WWE route, but who knows?